Greetings everyone, this is Danny from HarrTravel.com, and I'm currently on board the beautiful Mariner of the Seas. She got amplified about 1.5 years ago. Definitely see some differences between the Navigator and the Mariner. We just got off the Navigator, but I'd love to show you around this ship and see exactly what they did when they renovated it. And for me, it's just like a homecoming. I've been on this ship quite a few times when it was on the West Coast. Have some amazing memories here for me and my family members and friends, and some of the epic big group cruises that we used to do on board this ship. So come with me and follow me along as I introduce you to the Mariner of the Seas. First thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna head towards the front of the ship, actually. You see they have all kinds of loungers here. I noticed that they put on a ton more because there were more rooms that were added on and reconfigured, so they can accommodate more space that way. Looking right over the top here is the Salarium pool. So this is the adults only pool. There's 2 massive hot tubs down there. You also have the 2 showers, but I like that they have the extra padding on there for the adults, so it's just a really comfortable place. And when it's really warm here in a day or two when we're down in the Bahamas, you're gonna see quite a few people in there, and then there's a bar underneath as well, so perfect place to get away for the parents and also away from the noise of the main pool area. Don't get me wrong, I do love the noise of the main pool area, and when I hear the steel drum going in just a second here, yeah, my heart gets going and ready to go on vacation. So let me take you up to the very, very top of the pool deck. So up here you get a great view all over the ship, perfect for people watching, of course, and then it's the sun deck. There is no shade up here, so if you love the sun, this is the place to come on a sunny day. But looking down, you've got the 2 different bars below you, and then the tiered pool deck, and then of course the large screen TV that they added onto the ship after the fact, but I'm really happy that they did. It really adds to it. All right, so as we continue on the deck, right behind me is the bar and pool lounge area. Right now it's open because everybody's boarding. First thing you want to do when you get on board, of course, is get that Pina Colada, Miami Vice, Bahama Mama, Mai Tai, whatever it is that you're looking for. But it looks like people are settling in nice. This is the running track that I'm on. I wanted to point that out. So it's really good to do it later in the evening, earlier in the morning, before all the chairs are out and before it gets a little bit crowded in here. But this is a great place to see the pool from. There's 2 large pools here. They have one that's more of a sports pool. They have another one that's a little bit more of a family pool. And then of course the 2 really large hot tubs. And a classic thing here is the Sky Lounge and the pool bar have this tiered area in between. So you have these great sun deck, but that's reserved just for those who are in suites and also Pinnacle members. So a nice little benefit for those loyal to Royal Crown and Anchor members here. So I also love the giant TV. So for my kids, having multiple things to do so that every member of the family can be satisfied is a huge thing. So we can sit out here, we can use the hot tubs, we can use the pool, or Dad can just sit out and watch TV, and we're all gonna be happy. So let's continue on along. You can see they have quite a few deck chairs up here trying to maximize the space. This is also a great place where you can see the outside of the Viking Crown lounge area. That's a signature on Royal Caribbean, and it has been since the very, very, very beginning. One of the super amazing innovations that they added on this ship was the Skypad. So this is a giant ball on top of the ship. It's the highest part of the ship here. And what you have is these 4 trampolines. So got a cool echo in here as well, but they hook you up to the trampolines. You got bungees on, virtual reality. And so it's a virtual experience. You can pick from one of a couple different experiences. To do it, there is an extra cost, but how cool is this to be on the top of a cruise ship doing something amazing and unique that you can't really do anywhere else? Okay, so now we are gonna continue heading aft of the ship. So this is the area where they did all kinds of construction way back when this ship was built and when the Voyager classes came out. This was a rollerblading rink. I was really excited they had size 15 rollerblades. Don't see that much rollerblading anymore, and I think it's fallen out of fashion just a little bit. So they found some better spaces. So of course they put in the Skypad. Here's the bottom of the 2 water racers. So they're water slides that are racers, so you basically go at the same time. See who comes first. I usually do pretty well with that because the heavier person generally wins, but I'm gonna keep going so we don't get splashed here. One other cool place where you might not wanna get splashed is the FlowRider. So I'm gonna point it out right here. They put seating all the way around the FlowRider, but basically it is a surf simulator. So you can learn how to surf on there. You can take lessons, you can rent it out. They also have open time like it is right now. And then you can also boogie board as well. I also see them put in the middle, they got a separator so that 2 people can go at the same time. What's important to know for all of these activities is that you are going to need to make sure that you fill out the liability forms and sign them. This is where you're gonna do it. They'll answer all the questions for you, but really important that for parents is that the kids definitely need to get that. So you wanna make sure and head over there if your kids are coming up here and they wanna take advantage of it. They can't do it by themselves. So on the other side, this used to be the miniature golf course. The miniature golf course has been relocated with all the construction to the very front. So what you have is some hammocks, I love hammocks. Hammocks are amazing. I think having a few more on the ship is really cool. And then there's this really cool kids climbing area. So I know my daughter and my nieces and nephews will absolutely eat this up. It's fun, and I've seen it on their Oasis class ships. In fact, they have one of these on the outside of the Ultimate Family Suite on board the Symphony of the Seas. Over here, they added in a couple swings, but basically that's the aft part of the sport deck. And then the heart and soul of the sport deck on board this ship is the sport court. All right, so now I'm on the sport court. This is a place where I spent a ton of time as a kid with my family. My dad's a basketball coach. My brother and I both played all the way through college basketball, so we absolutely love it. But, you know, why not? Check it out. As my dad always says, the bank is closed. The bank is closed. Okay. As Pops always says, the bank is always open. All right, so also up on the sport court, you got the ping pong right there. I like that it's kind of protected from the wind. I've played many around there on this ship. And then of course the rock climbing wall. This is a signature of Royal Caribbean, started with the Voyager of the Seas, but just a lot of fun and a lot of good competition to do with your friends. Okay, so something super cool that I had not seen on a cruise ship before, but you have archery on board. You have this big kind of end here, but basically they're just floating on air, and join me, see if we can get it. So let's see what I got. Not so much. Not even close, but a lot of fun anyways. Okay, so now we're at the very top front of the ship. So this is an area that got completely reconfigured with the most recent renovation. So one, I like that they added in a few more of these windbreaks. It's really nice because you are at the very front of the ship, but a ton of space up here. Once again, if you love sun, this is another place that you're gonna really, really like and enjoy. And then a couple other things that they added is, one of them is this giant car wash shower up here in front of me. I love that because the ship sails in the Caribbean. It gets really warm, it gets really hot, and sometimes you don't want to go in the pool, but you can walk right on through, and it's got a nice rainforest shower head up above. But one of the things that they did when they did the massive renovation was they actually added in this miniature golf course. So some of my favorite memories on all the cruises that I've ever been on are miniature golfing. I love doing it with my daughter now, love doing it with my family when I was a little kid myself. It's free, you can do it any time of the day. And it used to be in the very back of the ship. In fact, I remember playing it quite a few times on this very ship itself. So let's see if I've still got it, or if I ever had it. I'm not sure what that means, but fair enough. Got to get the lay of the land here. To be perfectly honest, I'm not even sure where the hole is. Ah, there we go. Got to be smarter than the average bear. Let's see if cutting across is a smart thing to do. Perfect. That was exactly what I meant to do, ish. All right. Ooh, I've left myself a lot of chicken on the bone here. I'm gonna say it was the roll of the ship. I know, we're in port. Okay. There we go. That was a par 6, right? No, oh, 3, okay. Anyway, fun no matter what. And I love what they've done with this space. It's really, really cool. Over there, you've got the classic lighthouse over there, and then of course like the pirate theme throughout. But it's a really cool miniature golf course. It's free, like I said, and it's just a fun thing to do with your family any time of the day. So as we continue on, the other side is identical to that side. So you got this giant car wash thing here. You got some day beds, and then of course all of the loungers so you can soak in the sun of the Caribbean. All right, so I'm heading down from the suite area. So once again, this is for Pinnacle members and the concierge suites on board. You got the pool bar, classic venue on any cruise ship, and perfect one on this. And then of course, the band who is busy rocking it. As soon as I hear those Caribbean vibes coming out, I'm a pretty happy person myself, so there we go. Okay, so on the corner of the pool deck, you're gonna find the doghouse. This is something that started with the Oasis class ships, but basically you can get a complimentary hot dog. If you're anything into hot dogs, this is the place for you. In fact, I might get one myself here. Can I get a Coney Island beef dog, please?
Yes, sir.
All right, so now I'm headed over to my favorite place on the entire ship. I know I might have said that a few times, but this really, really is, because the most important spot on any cruise ship, hands down, end of conversation, is of course going to be the soft serve ice cream. So here we go. All right, we got vanilla, we got chocolate. You know for sure we're going in the middle there. Got a little one this time. All right, so now we're headed into Johnny Rockets, which is an awesome option on board. It's one that I love. They brought it on board with the Voyager of the Seas. I spent a lot of time in here with my family. My dad loves the music, of course. listened to a lot of KRF 101 growing up as a kid. But my favorite thing is the food is just good. The chili is to die for. Chili cheese fries amazing, and then the apple pie a la mode with Tillamook cheese on top, how my grandma always made it, and I love it. And then we'd always bring nickels in here, and then they'd give you them as well, where you could go through and you could pick all the songs. That's a ton of fun to do. You know, once again, just a 50s diner experience. It is an extra charge, but it's well worth it. Okay, so now we're in the 16 and up Salarium area on board. I love these two massive hot tubs, one on each side. I've spent a lot of time in there myself, but once again, a really relaxing area because it is adults only. And this is, of course, a family-friendly ship. During the renovation, they put in a ton of really new, beautiful furniture. It's a lot thicker padding and things like that than you're gonna have at the regular pool bar. They also have another great bar, which is the Salarium bar right here. Full bar, once again, in the middle of the adults only Salarium. Happiest place on earth, at least on the ship. How's it going? Love it. So now I'm headed into the Suite Lounge, which is a beautiful area, all new furniture, complete renovation when they did the amplification, kind of brought those colors that they had on some of the other ships to life here. And then of course, the most important person in here, the concierge Tao, one of the most amazing ones in the entire fleet. Happen to know from experience. Love it. Thank you so much for all you do. And then in addition to all the lounge space and the chairs, they've got tables here. They always have snacks throughout the day and then in the evening as well. And then of course, you can get the cocktails also. So once again, a perfect space and just a really nice extra benefit of booking one of the suites on board. So now we're out on the deck area of the Suite Lounge. I really like how they use this space. You have a ton of viewing inside, you have a ton of viewing outside. People watching if you want, but you also can look out the side of the ship. They added in this much larger plush furniture and then also some funky furniture over there in the corner as well. But once again, a private space just for those who are in suites. So just outside the Suite Lounge and up the stairs used to be the wedding chapel, but now it is the Puzzle Break Center. So it's basically an escape room, a lot of fun with friends and family. It is an extra cost, so you need to sign up at guest services, but highly recommend doing that if that's something that you really enjoy. So now we're headed right into the center of the heart of the Viking Crown, and you have Ellington. So when this was originally built, this was a jazz club, and then they also had a nightclub down below. The nightclub is no more, and so this is the primary nightclub on board. You can see it's also set up for weddings. They use it for all kinds of events. They've got a nice stage there, live band in the evening for great music, and then also later on in the evening, of course, you've got the DJ booth over there. But what this space is all about are these massive views, and then of course when you're sitting up against the windows there, you get some really great people watching down below, and then there's a great bar over here on this side as well, full service of course, but that's what you need in a nightclub. But really this is a multi-use space, but this is a really cool place to come in during the day to relax, read a book, have the beautiful views, and then come back in the evening and just have a great time with your friends. All right, so now I'm in the Diamond Club. This is a space that I really love because it's one that I get to go in on every single cruise. I'm Diamond Plus and have been for a while, and I really appreciate that Royal gives your kids your status. So my little 4-year-old is actually Diamond Plus as well. But what this is all about is a nice lounge space to relax. Of course, the free cocktails in the evening is a really wonderful benefit. But you also have full service of the concierge. What they're going to have is all the menus. So you've got the Jamie's Italian menu here. You've got the Chops chef's table menus, all those kind of things. So if you just want to grab a menu, if you want a reservation, of course, you're going to get priority access here and also in the suites. And then let me just walk you through the space a little bit. So it's a really beautiful space with different kinds of chairs and couches and all very plush. Totally redone during the renovation. And then I'm just going to take you behind the wall because this is a great setup. So if you like espresso drinks, you can always get complimentary espresso drinks if you're a Diamond member or above. So you just come on in here, use the machine, and then for boarding day they have a setup here. So before you can get in your room, it's a really nice place to go and relax, kind of get away from everything else. Of course, the desserts. I mean, I have eaten my weight in cookies on board a few times, but anyway. So another great feature of the Diamond Club is this outdoor terrace area. So once again, only accessible for Diamond and Diamond Plus members and above, and then Pinnacle members can of course use the Suite Lounge as well. But outdoor seating area, you got some great people watching. If people are playing on the sport court, I know when I was shooting baskets down there a minute ago, people up here were cheering for us. You also get a great view looking up at the rock climbing wall, fantastic view of the Skypad as well, and then once again, you're outside, perfect place to have a pre-dinner cocktail. Really just a place to chill and relax because you've earned it as a loyal Royal Caribbean member. All right, so now we're headed into the Windjammer Marketplace. That is the classic buffet that's on board every single Royal Caribbean ship, and as far as I know, has been from the beginning. So we've got some amazing music coming in. The Washy Washy song, there you go. Wash your hands. So make sure you wash your hands every single time. So right when you walk in, it totally renovated area. I really love what they did with the decor. Completely looks like a different space altogether. But this is kind of the main marketplace eating area. You've got a huge bar here, and the buffets are going to be around the side. So right here, they always have fresh squeezed orange juice. So if you have that beverage package, take advantage of it. Fresh squeeze is the best. And also, screwdriver with fresh squeezed orange juice is pretty darn good as well. And then they also have the espresso maker up here. Okay, so now we're headed to the main part of the buffet. It's in several different sections. Don't forget to go all the way to the back, but right here you've got the breads. This is a pretty classic setup of what you're gonna have on boarding day, and then throughout, of course, they're gonna mix and match it. But you got your salads. They always have Waldorf salad on boarding day. I think I've had it every boarding day I've ever been on. Been on over 40 Royal Caribbean cruises, so enjoy that stuff. Indian food has really stepped up lately. I love the chicken curry. It's something that all the cruise lines are doing, but I think Royal's done pretty well at. Soups, of course, all the condiments, and then they have the drink station over here. They serve it, so they always have it ready for you. More seating here, so this one's got bigger seating. If you're looking for a table of 10, you've got some higher tops here, and then a mix. Of course, you can always ask for high chairs for your kids if you'd like. And then now we're getting into the really important part. No, I'm not talking about the garden. I'm talking about, well, the desserts, but anyway, we'll get more to those in just a minute. Always have paella on boarding days as well, and then there's some of these great little areas that are tucked away that you may not even see, but if you have a large party, this is a perfect place to sit. And then, of course, where I always go as soon as I board, all the way to the back middle of the ship. I see about 10 open tables over there, and that's where I would head right away. So during the renovation, they definitely updated the decor. You can really see that here. They added a few more colors as well. But now we're getting to the most important part of, well, any buffet, and that is the sweet endings, the dessert. They've got a large array, a large assortment, and yeah, absolutely delicious. Mm. 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 Mm-hmm. Mm. 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 Dessert. Okay, so now we're headed into what I think is the most beautiful space on board the ship, and that is Jamie's Italian. So it's about modern Italian food, comfort food that makes you happy. It's all about being responsibly sourced as well, but really it's kind of meant to be that home-cooked Tuscan meal that just puts a giant smile on your face. I know I really, really love the charcuterie board that they have. It's a really, well, it's absolutely delicious, but all of the handmade pasta, all of it is absolutely top-notch. Once again, you can see the beautiful decor here. This was totally renovated and added on during the amplification, and it looks really beautiful. All right, so now we're headed into Chops Grill. This is OG Royal Caribbean from the very beginning of the specialty restaurant movement. It's always been here. It's always been really, really good. It's a steakhouse. Our bone-in ribeye is absolutely my favorite, the colossal shrimp. But what it is an unapologetic steakhouse. Completely. I love that they also have this open kitchen concept. You get the smells, and once again, just an absolutely fantastic restaurant and a perfect specialty option on board the Mariner. So in addition to that, this is also where you're going to have the sweet breakfast. It is complimentary to those suite guests because they don't have coastal kitchen, which is something that they do have added to their newer ships. Okay, so now we're getting ready to head into the Ship Shape Spa. So this is a full-service spa, as you would expect aboard a world-class cruise ship. They've got all, giant list of treatments and everything that you could expect here, massages, salon. If you follow me on in, I'm just gonna walk you through here. Okay, so over to the right are the first set of treatment rooms. So one thing that did happen with this spa was when they did the massive renovation a couple years ago, they turned a lot of the spa actually into staterooms. So instead of the 2 levels areas and then extra areas outside, this was condensed a little bit. So I'll show you inside one of the treatment rooms here. Okay, so this one's set up for massage. You of course can do the hot stone massage. That's my personal favorite. I absolutely love that. Bamboo massage, also a fantastic one here. But that right there, actually on the other side of that is a hallway, and then you have rooms now. So just an interesting thing. You got a full shower in here, and then of course everything that they need to get ready and take care of the treatments for you. Now we're heading into the Zen lounge area. So this is the relaxation room. This is where you're gonna come after you check in. You're gonna come over here, you're gonna sit for a little bit. They've got teas and water and flavored waters and things like that. But the whole idea is just to get yourself in a mindset to really, really maximize the most out of your spa treatment. All right, so now we're gonna head into the main salon area. So the far side over here, you can get, of course, manis, pedis, all of those kind of treatments here. So this is the manicure station. Right here, you can have great place for pedicures, and then this is the salon, so they can do color treatments, anything that you can do at a regular salon, they'll be able to do for you on board the ship. And they also have quite a few treatments that are specialized for men as well now on Royal Caribbean. So continue to take you through here, and there's our barber shop over here. And then of course they have a partnership with Elemis, and you can purchase all kinds of different beauty treatment products from all over the world, but you get them at duty-free prices. So a lot of people tell me that it's better to purchase them here. So just heading down the stairs from the spa into the fitness studio, basically the gym area. So over to my left, they do have a men's and women's sauna and steam rooms. I love it. It is complimentary. That's a really big perk that you don't find on many cruise ships anymore. And then right in here is the big aerobic area. So they're going to have all kinds of different classes. You'll have yoga in here. I think they have spinning in here as well. It might be over the side, but basically just a large aerobic area to do any of those classes. Make sure that you sign up early because they do fill up. Okay, and now we are into the heart and soul of the fitness area. So here's all the spin bikes that would go in there, and you've got bikes, ellipticals, I see some treadmills. But what I love about this gym, and what I've always loved about this gym, is that you have all of these treadmills right at the front of the ship, so you're looking out and you have a really, really epic view. And then as you continue on, this huge bank of treadmills here, you also have the Peekaboo Bridge right in front of you. So this is a unique feature on the Voyager class ships where essentially you can look in and down at what's happening in the bridge. So just something you may want to check out. Okay, as we continue along, more ellipticals. You've got the seated bikes here. You've got the stair stepper. Okay, so on the other side here, we're going to have all the different machines. So I see different leg press and hamstring machines, and then all kinds of the different pulley machines. Okay, and then over here, you've got all of the free weights, the dumbbells, and then other equipment that you would expect on board here. And once again, some really, really beautiful views while you're doing this exercise. Right, so cameraman made me go back and do my patented check, but another thing that I absolutely adore about this gym is it's really tall. I hit my head on a lot of ceilings when I'm on a treadmill or an elliptical, and I've got a couple feet of clearance here, so kudos to you, Royal Caribbean. All right, so now we're getting ready to head into the Adventure Ocean Center. So that is the kids club on board Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. I first started going to the Adventure Ocean Center when I was about 5 or 6 years old. I absolutely loved it. I know my brother did as well. And we begged our parents to get to go back, and they had to kind of pull us out of there late in the evenings. And now, generation ahead, my daughter absolutely loves it as well, along with her cousins. So I'm really, really excited to get them on board this ship. But now we're going to head on in, and I'll tell you all about the different programs and the spaces that they have for each one. So now we're in the Aquanauts area. This is 3 to 5-year-olds on board. So the little kiddos, they've got the little slide here, little fort, of course, nautical theme for them to hang out at. And then over here, they've got these great benches. Of course, all the art supplies and everything else is there. And movie area. And then one really other cool thing is they got the tiny bathroom in here as well. I really appreciate that they took the effort to do that as well. But basically, everything is the kiddo size, which just a really nice touch. Okay, so we're going to continue on to the other side. Over here in the corner, you've got a reading area, and then once again, all of the art supplies. So what they're going to do is throughout the entire trip, they're going to have special programming just for the kids' age that's age appropriate, so you can get a little bit of the educational piece, and then of course, a lot of the fun that you would want on vacation. All right, so now we're in the Explorers area, which is for the 6 to 8-year-olds. Pretty big size space. It's actually bigger than some of the other ships on the fleet. But right here, you've got all the video games because, of course, that's a lot of fun to do. Over here, you're going to have the art area. So they've got all the art supplies, the paper over there, and then the markers and all that. Kids can do art here. And then they have this chill out space right here as well. Once again, it's just a really, really, really long couch, but they also have supplies and everything underneath. Foosball, who does not like foosball? Once again, a lot more lounge space over here. They'll do sports in here, all kinds of age-appropriate activities. And then, of course, back there, they've got a DJ booth, and then they also have a dance floor here. So a ton of fun for this age group. All right, so now I'm in the living room. This is just the teen space chill area. So in the evening, they have fuel. Throughout the day, they're going to have this. They'll have activities that go on throughout the day. They have all kinds of programming that is age appropriate. So they're going to do different kinds of art, of course, video games, maybe even some dance stuff. But once again, this is just the chill lounge for teenagers on board. So now I'm going to head just outside of the living room into the Challengers Arcade. So it's a really, really huge space. I'm just going to kind of take a loop through here. But while we're walking through, you can see it's classic arcade games. You've got racing games. You got skee ball. You've got the claw games, of course, all of those over there. Guitar Hero. It's important to know that these are all an additional charge. So you're going to want to talk to your kids about it. Either set a budget for the entire cruise or per day, but you would need to pay for them. So more games down on this area, and I'll just loop you around here. Jurassic Escape and the racetrack, those are really cool VR games. It'll be interesting to see if they add more VR onto their ships. But once again, you put those on, and then everything moves around you, so it feels like you are exactly where the video game's putting you. And then more skee ball, bowling, and some race car games as well, and then a few more air hockey games down at the end. Right, so this is a massive space dedicated to teenagers. So this is 12 to 17-year-olds on Royal Caribbean. This is the Fuel nightclub. So this heats up in the evening. What you see is it's very much set up like a nightclub. You got a huge dance floor here. You also have all of this great seating on the outside. I was a middle school teacher for 10 years. I chaperoned a lot of dances. I know that a lot of people like to gravitate to the outside, and then there's always going to be a couple of them, you know, maybe break dancing right here. But good for them. You've got the full DJ booth over there as well. And once again, this is just a really chill hangout place for teenagers so that they can get that same experience that the adults are getting, and then they get it at an age-appropriate way. Okay, so the Voyagers, they're doing an event in there right now, so we're just gonna respect that. It's the 9 to 11-year-olds. It's right here in the back, very similar to the Explorers. They've got video games, they've got places where the kiddos can play sports, do art, all of those kind of things on board. So, but once again, this is the space dedicated to them. So you have a separate space dedicated to the 3 to 5-year-olds, 6 to 8-year-olds, the 9 to 11s, and then 12 to 17. Okay, so right now I am in the Royal Babies and Tots. I started traveling with my daughter when she was 6 months old on board Royal Caribbean, so I love this area. It means a lot to me. Come on in. One of the things that's so cool about taking your younger kids is most cruise lines will not take them and have any activities for them until they're 3 years and above. Royal, with this program, they'll actually change diapers, they'll put them down for naps, they'll feed them, they'll do all of that. There is a fee. It's $6 an hour during the day, and then after 6 p.m. it's $8 an hour. But the kids usually love the space here. They've got a ton of age-appropriate toys. Of course, you got Paw Patrol on right now, so I know my daughter's gonna love that for sure. And then once again, some more toys over here. And then back in the back area, they have a full nursery, so there's several different cribs and setups, and of course you can see where they would change them, and well, of course, you're gonna need to at some point. But once again, this is such a cool thing, and I really appreciate that Royal Caribbean is putting the time and the money and the energy into it, because when every member of the family is happy, you have a perfect vacation. Okay, so now we're heading into the Royal Promenade area. So it's a massive space, it's huge up there, 3 stories high, and then it goes all the way down to where Studio B, the ice skating rink, is. And when this ship was built, nothing like this existed. So when the Voyager class was introduced, this concept of a 3-story high internal space throughout the entire ship, once again, it was just a totally new concept. So follow me along, I'll show you what it's about, but it's really, really cool. So over to my right side there is the passenger services desk. So that's where you're gonna have everything, you know, to do with money. If you need any special requests, they're gonna take care of it there. And then right now, this is a new space when they amplified the ship, but we're at the shore excursions area. So they made it completely digital. Of course, they still have the desk there for you, but you just tap the screen, you use your SeaPass card, you can see what you've selected. You can also select right there as well. And then as we continue on, we're gonna head to the next cruise desk. So I actually just stopped by here myself. Make sure whenever you cruise that you get your next cruise purchased on board. This is gonna be the best price for you. They're also going to give you special credits that you can only get on board, and you can even buy a future one and then take a couple months to think about it. But it's a huge discount, especially if you're staying in a suite. All right, so now we are in the main heart and soul of the Royal Promenade. Let's walk underneath here. So one interesting thing, this brake here, they use the bridges for, you know, shows and everything, but it's also a fire door brake, because that was one of the big challenges when they built it. They had to be able to close it off and section it off completely in the ship. So now you've got port merchants. That's where you're gonna get the duty-free alcohol, things along those lines if you're interested. Across the other way, you've got the jewelries and watches. Of course, there's high-end retail, and you know, because it's duty-free, many people think that it's a pretty good bargain to purchase on board. So next, you've got all of some of the logo gear, but all of the bathing suits, you know, even evening wear, all kinds of stuff. It's an eclectic mix in there. Once again, it's just retail. And as we continue along, I wanted to take you into one of my favorite parts of the total, you know, amplification of the Voyager class ships. That's the bamboo room. So come on in. The space is beautiful. It's an old school, goes back to like, you know, Trader Vic's, sorry, in Oakland. You got the actual tiki bar atmosphere and feel, and it really truly feels like you are in an old school bamboo lounge. Actually I think I could decorate my house this way and be pretty happy with it. But the secret to this is the bartenders. They are absolutely amazing. They do all kinds of handcrafted cocktails. And of course you get them in really, really, really cool containers. But for my money, this is my favorite place to hang out, relax. It's the vibe that I love. And I mean, heck, you're going to the islands, so why not celebrate the islands? Maybe different islands, but that's okay. So what do you think about the bamboo room? I agree very much. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I'll see you in a few minutes after the tour's over. All right, one more thing that I wanted to point out before we headed down the promenade, but there is a car on every single promenade, and there is a stuffed animal of some sort on every single promenade, and that's because the chairman CEO of Royal Caribbean is a huge fan. Just wanted to point it out as a fun fact. So we're gonna continue on board. It's boarding time right now. The music is rocking. People are having a great time already. They've only been on board for a few minutes. So everything is set up in the entire ship that you can take advantage of throughout the cruise. They want you to see it right away, decide what you want for you, whether it's the spa, purchasing alcohol or packages. But this is the best time to kind of check all of them out because the samples are out as well. So let's head into the Barnacle and Barrel. Every one of the Royal Promenades has a pub. This is a pub. Right here is where you're gonna have somebody sitting, usually a guitar player, sitting and singing every single night. They usually bring some pretty amazing energy. I know I've been in here and sat at that very bar. The Mariner of the Seas used to be on the West Coast, which is where I personally live, and so having a ship close by is amazing. And we're going to get another one here very soon with the Voyager. But for me, every time I walk around the spaces like this, I think of all the memories that I had with friends on the inaugural of this in LA, and then also when we sailed for a week. But this is just an awesome environment where you sit back, relax, sing a few songs, sing along, and just really enjoy all your friends and family on the cruise. All right, so just outside you have a huge seating area here. If you're gonna participate in one of the parades, the 70s party, whatever it is going on, you wanna get one of these seats super early on, but it's well worth it because the people watching is amazing, and if you sit right here or one of those, you can actually see the show that's gonna be up on top there as well. So once again, you got beauty products, more retail over there, and then I'm just gonna take you across here to the Coca-Cola machine. So this is something that they have on all of their ships now. It's a partnership with Coca-Cola. Basically, if you buy the soda package, you're gonna get a tumbler. It's got a chip in it. You set it right here. You select exactly what you want. It's nice because that's the best part of vacation is if you can customize and get exactly what you want. So if you want a cherry Sprite Zero, you can do it. All right, so our next stop is going to be the ice cream bar. This is something that is extra cost, so make sure that you keep that in mind. And then you also have a little coffee shop here. They're gonna serve Seattle's best coffee. It's not Starbucks, but I will show you Starbucks as well on this tour. So let's continue on over to the Cafe Promenade. Once again, I've cruised on this ship quite a bit. I've had fun. They used to have a nightclub on board. They don't have the same one anymore, but I have all these crazy memories of us hanging out, partying, and all of the songs, like each one of those cruises, there's a song in my head that's represented there. But we always manage to come back here and have a few slices of pizza, and then also now they have antipasto and things like that. But really, this is just a quick grab and go. So if you're looking for a fast casual option, you can grab pizza, sandwiches, little bites and things like that, and it's usually open late into the night. Okay, now we are gonna head across to a brand new space when they amplified. I'm so excited that they did it. They've had sports bars before. Playmakers honestly was not one of my favorite things. This is. One, they have an amazing menu. So it's a true pub menu. They do charge extra, but it's all the things that you want when you're watching sports. You've got wings, you've got loaded potatoes, you've got chicken tenders, hot dogs, hamburgers, things like that. But it's really quality because they're charging for it. It actually is, to me, a significant level above what they would serve standard in the dining room or the buffet. But as you get in, you can see this is what a sports bar is supposed to be like. You got a pool table, you got huge TVs all the way around, TVs above the bar as well. And then kind of a mix of seating. They put games in here. You've got a giant game of Jenga, dominoes, trivia, Connect 4. Just around the corner, they got a foosball table. They've got more TVs. They've got some arcade games and things as well. So really, legitimately, there is something for everybody in the family to do. But another thing that Royal Caribbean has done is they've invested heavily in content. So now they can show many more of the football games, baseball games, basketball games, college, NFL, all of those things that you want to see, which to me was always kind of a sin that you couldn't watch on board because if going on vacation, you should be able to do what you want. And I know where I am on Saturdays and Sundays and when big games are happening. Okay, so one thing that I didn't mention as we were walking by is there is an entrance to the casino. We'll get down there in a little bit, but directly in front of me, you've got the Star Lounge, which we're gonna head in, and then down you have the Royal Theater just below. And that is a 2-deck entrance, so you can get in on deck 4 or 5, but all the way up you can see, and there's a skylight. So that's what's so cool about this ship. They're brand new ships. They were able to put skylights in the middle of it, but for this one, they have huge skylights on either side, so it brings in that natural light, and it really gives you the idea that it's day, even though you're in the middle of a cavernous part of the ship. The very end of the promenade is the Star Lounge, and just inside of there is going to be the library. So this was another space that was converted. It used to be a cigar lounge on board, but it no longer is, and I absolutely love, whoop, apparently you're supposed to push when it says push, who knew? Okay. All right, so this is a community bulletin board. All Royal Caribbean ships have it, so if you're gonna set an event or you want to create an event on board, this is something that you can do. You can post it, others can see. But let's head on in here. It's a little bit of an internet cafe. They're not really needed much anymore on cruise ships because most people have their own devices, their phone, their iPad, computer, whatever it is. But you've got computers on both sides. And then over here, you've got a nice little game room. I found that this is a pretty quiet space in general. This is an awesome place if you want to play games with the family, but also if you want to just get a couple couples together before you head to dinner. You see you've got lounge seating here with windows that look outside. That's a real treat. And then over here you've got a little bit more of the library. These are books that you can check out, and also it's not a huge collection, but once again a lot of our world is going digital, but you can check it out, and then they also have a book exchange if that's something that you'd like to do. Okay, so just outside the library is the Star Lounge. It is a multi-use space. I've used it for all kinds of things over the years. One, it's the perfect buyout space if you're having a large party, family, wedding, whatever it is. This is the perfect space for that. And they totally redid all of the furniture. It looks amazing. The upholstery looks really beautiful. It's much more modern, a lot lighter colors. I find it, because you have the windows too, you kind of have a lighter room. But as I head up here, this is what it's all about. This is the stage, this is the dance floor. They'll have live music in here quite a bit. I have personally sung karaoke on that stage many, many, many times. I love standing up here. I think Whitney Houston's Greatest Love of All might be my epic one that I would do in here. But just fun memories coming back into my head with all of my friends and family members that have traveled with me on this ship. We also always use this as a meeting spot, so if we're doing a private excursion or custom excursion, we'll usually meet here. But this is just an easy place to meet up, and throughout the day, it's not used very often. It's always in the program if it is being used. So this is just a great place to sneak away, read a book, or play a fun social game with the family as well. There's a full bar in the back. They provide full bar service during all of the events, but if you do come in here outside of those events, it may not be open. Just something you want to be prepared for. All right, so now I'm inside the Royal Theater. It is a massive space. It's a stadium-style seating down below, and then upstairs you've got this massive balcony as well. I always like to be up here, but they're gonna do the full Broadway-style production shows in here, comedians, and basically all of the entertainment that needs the stage is gonna be in this space. All right, so now I'm gonna head into Izumi, Hibachi, and Sushi. What is up? You are literally everywhere. I've seen you so many times recently. Looking good. Trim the mustache up a little bit. Still got the horns going. All right, brother. See you in a little bit. Okay, so one thing that I noticed right away is that this space is bigger than what they have even on the Oasis class ship. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different tops here, whereas the other one's a little bit less. And then, like I said, over here you're gonna have your sushi bar as well. But this is such a fun place to go with the family. I know my daughter and all my nieces and nephews, they really love it. Who doesn't like little flinging shrimp or other things? And then, of course, all the singing and the noise and all that. It just makes for a really fun, entertaining dinner. And then, of course, this is where you're gonna find me right here at the Sushi Bar. Fantastic sushi chefs, and it's incredibly fresh. In fact, the sea's just outside. All right, so now I'm headed into the classic Royal Caribbean bar. It is nautical themed. It's the Schooner Bar. I haven't been on a Royal Caribbean ship unless I've had a drink in the Schooner Bar. They all have a piano like this, got some chairs that sit all the way around the piano. Piano man singing really, really good on board this ship. Loved it. Everybody's told us how much they've enjoyed it as well. And then, of course, you have the full bar here. But once again, Schooner Bar, Royal Caribbean go together like shamalama ding dong, bobbity bop shabop. All right, so now we're headed into the casino. It is a really, really large space. They've got all the games that you would expect in here. Most of the Royal Caribbean ships actually have a really, really large casino, and I love that they have poker that they deal. Doesn't have the machine. I know quite a few of the other cruise lines have switched over to the table machines. You've got everything you would expect: roulette, 3-card poker, craps over there. Ultimate Texas Hold'em is one of the ones that I've actually done pretty well at lately. And then, of course, there is a large bar right in the middle of the casino. This is one of the spaces on board where you can smoke, so just keep that in mind. If that's something that bothers you, you're definitely going to notice it in here. But once again, it is a casino, and if that's your thing, probably used to it. All right, so if you're looking for nightlife on board and a really, really excellent bar option, Bolero's is, well, I think on all the entire fleet, it's where the action is, because this is a Latin dance club. So right here you see they've got all the beautiful new decor that they added when they renovated. They've got the full bandstand up here as well. It gets going, got some flamenco, some salsa, but when that beat gets going, you just have a lot more fun. All right, so just across from Bolero's is Starbucks. They put in a full one when they did the renovation. It's going fleet-wide, and what I like about it is just kind of that comfortable thing. A lot of people start their day with Starbucks. If you do, this is a perfect way to start your day, end your day, or anything in between. All right, so one other thing that I love about this Starbucks is they have this little corner over here where they've got chargers. So there's US plugs and European plugs. And you got a beautiful view right through the promenade out to the ocean. All right, so now I'm in front of the main dining room and we're gonna head on in. So of course, this is the complimentary dining option on board for Royal Caribbean. You always have dinner in here, and then on sea days, a lot of times they'll have breakfast and lunch in here as well, including their brasserie, which I definitely recommend that you check out. Now we're heading into the main area, and look, I mean, it's stunning. It's absolutely beautiful, it's grand, the giant chandelier in the middle, and then of course the captain's table right underneath it. I remember the first time that I went on the Voyager class ships, I was just completely blown away by this. I have been blown away with every single one since, and I truly believe that the Voyager class dining rooms are the best on the entire fleet, and they're just simply beautiful. So in this one, you have all the gold touches here, and then of course this classic stairway, and then at the top they've got the sculpture, and of course the sculpture is The Sound of Music. I met my wife when we were students living in Salzburg, Austria, so I absolutely, positively love that. So go ahead and say hi to Julie, or Fraulein Maria, for a second, and yeah, anyway. This is perfect for myself and my family because, once again, Salzburg, Austria, home away from home, and happiest place on earth. So one of my all-time favorite parts about dining in this dining room is at the very end, they'll get all the crew members up there and they'll do kind of like a parade of nations and sing, and we're all waving our white flags. Well, we're not surrendering to the food, of course, because that just keeps coming. But what's actually happening is you get a glimpse of what this whole thing is all about. You get the family that is Royal Caribbean on board, all the crew members, all the different nations that they're from, and how amazing it is that they get all of them together to create such an amazing product like they do in here every single night. So now I'm heading out of the main dining room. Keep in mind, it's on decks 3, 4, and 5. I'm on deck 3 right now, and I'm gonna head directly across to Studio B. But on the way, I wanted to point out that this is where you're gonna have the art gallery. So there's beautiful art down here that you can come down and look at, and then of course, it is all for sale. They work with Park West, and I have quite a few clients actually that come on board and purchase art every single time, or sometimes even plan a cruise to come on board and get art. Of course, it's duty free, and I won't talk to the value. I don't really understand all of that kind of stuff, but I do love looking at it and really enjoying it. So the other thing that's on the way is the Focus Gallery. When they did the renovation, another thing they did is you just swipe your card here. You can pull up all the photos that you have, so they're not printing out absolutely every single photo that they're doing, but also so it's really quick and easy for you to do that. All right, so now I'm in Studio B, which is the ice skating rink on board. Yes, you heard that right, ice skating rink on board the Mariner of the Seas. The first one debuted on the Voyager of the Seas, and I fell in love with it absolutely immediately. They have a full production ice skating show, and this one, it's kind of a circus theme, but they do an amazing job. A lot of these people are really incredible athletes. Some of them are even Olympic level, and this is a really great thing that Royal Caribbean's been able to actually employ so many ice skaters, believe it or not. This space is also used for several other things. This is where you're gonna do the quest, the adults only scavenger hunt. It is adults only, and it can get very adult, so just make sure that you know that going into it. They also do like 50 sock hops in here, and then of course free skates. So I was really stoked the first time I came on board, and they had size 15 ice skates, but it's all set up in basically an arena style seating, so they're seating on 3 sides, and it takes up the entire width of the ship, so just keep that in mind. Deck 3 is one of the only ones that you can't walk all the way through on. Congratulations, and thank you so much for making it all the way through the video. We really, really appreciate it. I hope that you loved it. Please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell for notifications so that you can get all the exciting information on the upcoming content. We filmed 3 ships this weekend alone. At Harr Travel, we are your suite experts. I personally handle all of the top suites myself, and we know the ins and outs of the process. And so whenever you're ready, reach out to us. We'll take advantage of our connections with Royal Caribbean, and we will help create a vacation of a lifetime for you and your family.